Jake Fisher of the Bleacher Report just added this. I already recorded this video, but before we start the video, this information needs to be included. Any deal that lands Gobert with those Chicago Bulls most certainly includes Nikola Vucevic, which I discussed before knowing this in my video. So, hey, shout out for me being big brain. The two-time All-Star center Chicago attained last year from the Orlando Magic prior to the 2021 trade deadline has a deal that expires at the end of the 2022-23 season. With Zach LaVine set for a lucrative free agency, the Bulls brass has been considering their options at the center position since February's trade deadline, sources says. Chicago's willingness to part with Patrick Williams has yet to remain to be seen. The Bulls were strongly resistant to include Patrick Williams in any preliminary conversations with the Detroit Pistons to acquire Jeremy Grant before the trade deadline, sources told Jake Fisher's Bleacher Report. Adding Kobe White, whose value the Bulls previously explored on the trade market, and Javonte Green would make money match to get Rudy Gobert's hefty contract if they... So basically it would be Javonte Green, Kobe White, Nikola Vucevic, and maybe the first round pick in this year's draft. Let's hop into the video. Let me hear your thoughts. Yo, what's going on, guys? And the Chicago Bulls are interested in Rudy Gobert? Why? I don't know why I made my voice like that. Like and subscribe, guys. But before you guys even like and subscribe, because we post 150 plus videos a month on every single NBA team and the NBA draft, okay? We've been averaging over 170 for the past 3 months. Either way, I want to hear your thoughts down below. Where do you think Rudy Gobert is going to go? And if you're a Chicago Bulls fan, do you want Rudy Gobert? Let's get right into today's video, okay? According to Kevin O'Connor, The Ringer, the Chicago Bulls are interested in Rudy Gobert and other centers in the market, including Knicks free agent Mitchell Robinson. Look, I'll pull up to the free agent rankings that I have. Shout out Hoops Hype. But the Utah Jazz are paying $37.6 million this coming season for Rudy Gobert. And if they were to trade Rudy Gobert to the Chicago Bulls, you have to understand who could match that salary. Now, Nikola Vucevic makes $25 million a year. The deal, if they're going to trade for Rudy Gobert, it would have to include Nikola Vucevic, because you're not going to have Nikola Vucevic and Rudy Gobert on the same team. Unless you're trying to put Vuce at power forward. I don't know how that would work out, but it would obviously be Nikola Vucevic for Rudy Gobert plus a few other players to make the contract. With Vuce, you're $15 million short, and it's interesting because who would fill that up? It would have to be a combination of, man, because Derrick Jones' contract's expiring. You have to assume that, and Troy Brown's is too. It would have to be like a Kobe White. Well, they have cap space, so technically they're $25 million under the cap space, so they could do a Vooch trade. But if they're keeping Zach LaVine, then they'll obviously be over the cap. So you have to wonder if they would probably want to trade for him before signing Zach LaVine. Okay, that way they can go over the cap to re-sign Zach LaVine because they have his bird rights. So if they did it, it would be probably Vooch in the pick, which is their 18th pick in the draft, or 19th pick. I think it's the 18th. They would take, really would be Vooch in the 18th pick. I think that's the best deal, because you wouldn't give up Kobe White. I mean, maybe you send over Tony Bradley if he accepts the player option, and throw in maybe Marko Simonovic and Javonte Green. I don't see the Bulls giving up too much, because if they did, I don't give up multiple first round picks. You shouldn't even. I honestly think a team's going to tell them and be like, look, Rudy Gobert is a Kristaps Porzingis price. You might have to attach a pick and try to spread that contract through a few contracts. But now if you imagine the idea of Rudy Gobert, DeMar DeRozan, Patrick Williams, Lonzo Ball, Alex Caruso, Kobe White, instead of Nikola Vucevic, and also Zach LaVine, it's kind of good because Vooch isn't a great defender. So if you have Rudy Gobert, DeMar, Pat, Zach LaVine, and Lonzo, Pat, Lonzo, and Rudy Gobert will take care of defense. Tell Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan to run the show, okay? And then off the bench, you'd have Caruso and Kobe White, okay? And maybe Ayo Dosunmu, because I don't think they would trade Ayo Dosunmu. And whoever you bring in free agency, which can be a combination of like Tony Snell's. I'm just kidding. But seriously, these guys. Oh, I want to talk about the fact that Stanley Johnson and Mac McClung all both played for. Also, what happened to Jordan Bell? He kind of just disappeared. Also, Ersan Ilyasova, another guy who just disappeared. He played like 10 days. He got a 10-day contract with the Bulls earlier this season and just did not play. And he's not like old. I mean, he might be older than we know. It's crazy. Ersan Ilyasova. That guy has had a wild career, in my opinion. He's also played for the Bucks so many times. He only reminded me because I'm looking at the Chicago Bulls salary, and I see that they paid Ersan Ilyasova $151,000 this year. They paid Devon Dotson like $240. More money than I've made so far in my life.